After a while, we were told that we could now stand and look up and watch the mushroom form.
Tiny Brain plays Cheered, X10.
If I was looking at you now, I would see all your bones. You would see all the blood vessels and everything of the bones a lot.
Maybe I'm one of a different breed. Like me more if you airbrush me. I'm better off being my own freak. Not everyone's gonna fuck with me. Bag of bones will stretch more. Bags under my eyes. Don't always find the right words. I still wanna be heard. There's someone that loves all this. Don't think I don't see you right there. In your PJs and your fucked up hair. Behind all the likes and the shares. That's the real you. Double standards are the real bitch. Without the money or the clout to fit. I can't bring myself to give a fuck. I'm going in the trash when this is done. see what I know and what I feel. Ever saw you, I knew right then that I was done for. There has to be order. There has to be some kind of pattern. There has to be meaning. If you and I could meet, there has to be order. There has to be some kind of pattern. There has to be meaning. Some kind of meaning. Could meet. We all live inside these walls. Pillars built on salt and sand. We were built to be alone. It is all I've ever known. Are we bound to repeat the past while we seek a balance that doesn't exist? Are we bound to repeat the past, sink into the violence in which we exist? I'll grow wings and fly away. Leave this place in all the pain.
Hello, can everybody hear me okay? You're coming through? Ah! Naoko Halari, thank you for the follow. Also, Tina, thank you for the bits. Appreciate it. And Noxu Valor, thank you for the follow a day ago. Quack! Hello, Salts. Hello, Nyoko. Hello, Mr. Up here. Let's see, let me just pull myself up. Ah! I hope you guys are all doing well today, having a good day. Hello, everybody. Oh, don't have my leap motion on. That's why you can't see me waving, because I took it off, because I'm a Dumbo. Put that back on, and okay. Hands, you working? Hello. There we go. Hello, everybody. I think I may have made the leap motion a little better. We'll see. Hope everyone's doing well today. Hello, Snow Fox. Hello, Salt. Hello, Mr. Up here. Hello, Tina. Hello, Nyoko. I think that's everybody. Did I miss anybody? Hello, Moose. Moose is here too. We got also Fearless, aka Has Left. I hope you guys are doing well. So this will be my first workshop. This is kind of impromptu. Well, it wasn't really impromptu. Celeste and I talk about doing this, but I totally forgot we were streaming it. So, sorry if today's a little scuffed. If you guys want to check out Celeste, you can find her... I hope I'm spelling her name right. Find her here. Ah, yes. Okay, good. So I'm good. So I'm going to go ahead and message Celeste and be like, hey, I'm ready to go. By the way, this music you're hearing is Gravity's new music. If you don't know, Gravity is a fellow VTuber and friend of mine. You can get her their music here. I forgot they used them. They just released this EP. It's fucking fantastic. So, wait to see what Celeste says. Celeste doesn't message me before the music ends. I will just come off mute, surprisingly. This song's nearly done, so. God, it's so fucking good. Truth be told, I haven't been able to buy it yet because I haven't gotten paid, but once I get paid, I'm buying this shit. Ah, so good. Alright. Okay, so. We're good. Alright, see you later, Nyoko. Rest well, buddy. Okay, alright. Hello?
Gamer?
Gamer? Gamer. Yes.
Hello.
Bon appetit and all that. That was right?
Yeah, that was right, but like, why would you say that?
That's hello, right? Okay, I'm done trolling.
Shut up.
Hold on, you're not sharing your model to me anymore.
Oh, fuck. Sorry.
You're good.
Is it good?
I'm waiting.
Is it better?
No, I don't see it. You're not sharing it to Discord.
Why?
I don't see it. It says you're not live in Discord. Did you close it by accident?
Why do I not see my mouse anymore? What happened? Everything is going to shit.
What did you break?
Oh, wait. I'm gonna do without a mouse. When is a mouse? Okay, it's back.
Who needs a mouse? Ah, okay, there we go. Now I can see your beautiful face.
Yeah.
So let's switch over to the stream screen. Ah, everybody can see all my shit.
Thank you.
Let's move that over the screen.
Thank you, Nyoko.
So, hello, Dragon Tamer. I see you there. So, before we get started, let me just pull up my slideshow here. Okay, so. All right, there we go. So, just for your viewers, I'll just be like, "Hi, I'm Zero. I normally am the lootesome Neko VTuber, but I'm gonna be good today.
No.
I'm gonna be good today, because I'm gonna be teaching Celeste and y'all about voice acting. Just a little bit of background. I've been doing voice acting since 2008. I've been doing it both non-professionally and professionally for that long. My most recent professional work is I'm in the game Gaikokujin no Sensei, otherwise known as Foreigner Teacher. That's going to be coming out this year. So.
Oh, wait,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a friend of mine is actually, he developed it. He did a successful Kickstarter, and it's basically it's a dating sim where you are an American going to teach English in Japan. That's basically.
You're an American?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, well, you know what, Celeste, I'm sorry. I have to say I'm sorry to you because Snowfox has redeemed lewd jail, so you're going to be in lewd jail with me.
Oh, God, no.
And just to add to it, I'm putting his face on my stream, there's jail bars around you and I. So we're trapped in a cell together, and I'm making this face.
Uh,
All right. So back to what I was saying. So yeah. So I've been doing this for a little bit, and I try to I've helped out a few people on how to do voice acting stuff, and then also Celeste is going to be helping me relearn French because I'm French Canadian and I know like 3 phrases. So
what
I need help.
what are the phrases you know?
I know how to say hello, bonjour. I know how to
Bonjour,
say
oui.
I think it's my name is je m'appelle. So it'd be je
Okay.
m'appelle Zero. Is that right? I can count to. I can remember how to count to 20 in French.
Okay, do it.
So, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I forget what 20 is.
Thank you,
is,
Darnet, for the sub. It's Van.
is 20? I always think it's 30 for some reason. I don't know.
No, you're dumb.
And does it go 21, 22, 23, 24? Is that how it goes? Or
I mean, if you remember, I did count to 50 in my French streams, but I guess you didn't care enough to learn.
I was working at the same time, so I couldn't fully pay attention. Listen. This is why we're doing this, so you can teach me for real instead of me being at work and
Yeah,
trying
but
to
are
pay
you gonna
attention.
concentrate?
I will concentrate.
Okay.
Don't give me shit already. We just started. We're not even on the French lesson yet. We're on the voice acting one. Okay. But also, Kwa, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. So this is basically just the voice acting stuff's going to be basic stuff today. Some of this is going to be a no-brainer for you because you know how to sing. So singing helps with range. So range is probably going to be your strong suit in this. And if I go too fast or if I don't explain something properly, just ask me to stop and I'll re-explain it. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So let's see. Let me go back up to my slideshow here. All right. What is voice acting?
Wait, did you put the first slide?
I'm on the first slide.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. This is what Google says voice acting is: the art or occupation of providing the voices for characters in animated films, dubbed foreign language films, audio dramas, etc. Basically, using your voice to do acting. Yes, it is that simple. So, the biggest difference between real acting and voice acting is obviously with live action acting, you have your full body. You can move everything around. When you're voice acting, you have to do all that in your voice. And it sounds difficult, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too difficult. You'll be able to move into it just fine. The hardest part's going to be finding out what's too much and what's not enough, but we'll go over that. So let's see, can I just hit enter to go to the next slide? Yes, I can. Or it's just going to completely destroy the screen and take it away. Thank you, Slobs. Oh, okay, let's go back. How do I go back? Let me go back to my... Okay. All right, let's go back a couple slides because we're going too far too fast. Okay, so here's what we're going to go over today. We're going to go over range, which is probably going to be the easiest thing for you because you already sing, like I said. We're going to go over how voice acting works. Just basic stuff like how to do it, what to do, things like that. Different styles of voice acting, because it's not all just one thing. Just like in regular acting, there's different ways of doing acting. Finding your voices, which I think is something that's kind of tough for a lot of people, but we'll work together, get something figured out for you there. Voice acting in different languages, because it is different based on the language and the region. And then practice and trigger phrases, which is sometimes an easy way to get into a voice. All right, so going over to the next slide, range. So range, like singing, voice acting range is based on on person to person and takes practice. I've already made a spelling mistake, I see, so get used to that.
Wait, where? Yeah, takes, no?
I put take instead of takes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Also, horny jail's done, so I'm taking you out of horny jail with me. There we go. So, just like I put do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do on there because that's how singing works. You do the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. I did that backwards, but you get what I mean. Just the same thing with voice acting. You're gonna have voices that are way down here like this, and rough and hard to do, and then you're gonna have ones way up here. You know what I mean? Like it's all around where you're gonna do it. So the first exercise I do with people is go as low as you can without straining your voice. So we'll start with low voices. So for me, I can go about here before it starts straining, before I start getting scratchy.
Maybe like this.
There you go. There you go. There you go. When your voice starts feeling scratchy, that's when you need to stop going low.
Yeah.
And like do it. So like once you get down to about here. Yeah, I'm already starting to feel it. So down about here. So if you practice doing that, like reading stuff like that, that'll get you to low. And for high, same thing. Do as high as you can go without feeling like you're straining it. So I can go about here. I could go to a voice up about here. Oh, Mickey Mouse.
I can go over here, I think. Yeah.
Oh my god, you're so adorable. Oh, he'll hydrate. Yes, good. I have water, because when you're doing voice acting, you're going to want to drink water, because that shit, like, dries your voice out. Water. Delicious. Thank you for the Hail Hydrate there. Lowercase never, because I'm never cap. Also, hello, Vict. Okay, so another exercise I do, and this is normally a vocal exercise for singing, but it works for here. Growling. So I don't know if you listen to much metal, Celeste.
Yeah, a little bit.
But as you know, in a lot of metal, there tends to be screaming vocals. So how people do that is they have to practice to train their voice to be able to do that. So obviously, I'm not going to tell you to do screams or anything, but this will be useful for learning how to do like louder stuff like yelling, because even if you haven't seen it, I'm sure you are aware of Dragon Ball Z, right? So those actors, when they do that, when they go to do their voices for that, they do just a session of yelling for like attacks, powering up and stuff, because it gets rather intense. Some of the actors have actually almost fainted doing the yelling. So the thing with that is it's hard because you're expelling a lot of air when you're doing something like that. And when you're doing a lot of like loud and yelly stuff, it takes it out of you. So I like to tell people, try practicing growling. So like the easiest way to do it is think of, like The Grudge or Ju-on, I guess you could say, like The Ring, stuff like that. Like the girl, she goes as the So what I tell people is to get used to that is do that for as long as you can without taking a breath. Eventually you'll get to a point where you can do it so long that you won't even think about it. And then once you're able to do that, yelling is easier. So I'm just going to back away from my mic so I don't yell into your face. But like if I was to do like a power up in like Dragon Ball or something, you'd be like something like that. As you could hear, my throat was starting to strain because I haven't done it in a while.
Oh, okay.
That's
that
how you
was
know
scary.
I need to practice. Was it scary? I'm sorry. Do we use honey or other things in water when you practice? You can. However, what I recommend is only a little bit. Because if you use a lot of honey, it's going to like dilute it, and it's going to make you like... The sugar can make it worse. That's why I say to with people, be careful about using sugary stuff when you're practicing your voice acting, because a little bit's good, but a lot is too much, and it'll hurt your throat. Tea is also a great drink to drink. Something herbal, like a green tea. It's good for warming up your voice. I had a green tea this morning, actually, because I knew I was doing this. But my general rule of thumb is have water. Water's the best thing. So, is it still okay to voice act on a sick day? If your throat is sore, don't do it. That's what I say to people. So lowercase, because I'm never capped. If you feel like it's going to strain you, don't do it. Okay, so we're going to get to something here that's going to be, where I'm going to ask you about something here, Celeste. So give me a second here to move to that
You're
side.
gonna ask me about something?
Okay. We're going to, in a moment, do an exercise to find out what voices you can do. So...
Oh shit.
So I've only heard, I've heard you talk in both English and French. I've heard you sing. So I know kind of what your voice sits at, but I've never heard you actually try to do a voice for a character. Unless it's except maybe that there's that one game you played and you read some of the dialogue, but it was only a little bit of that I got.
I'm sorry, at what slide are we?
What slide are we in? Oh, sorry, how voice acting works.
Okay.
We're going to get to that activity in just a moment, but I just want to let everybody know how this part works. Potato chips, small amounts of what we used in college. You spare me. Hey, thank you, Mr. Up Here. Yes. Just drink water with it. Okay, so how voice acting works, just like singing and speaking, you use both the throat and the diaphragm to voice act. So you already know how to sing, so I'm sure you know how to use your diaphragm. Is that right? Same idea. For anybody who's not used to it, the diaphragm is it's above your tummy there. It's between the tummy and the chest. There's a section there. You can put your hand flat on it, and you can feel it moving when you talk. So if you were to say do something like do a yell, you'll hear it move a lot more. So when you're just getting started doing this or singing, good idea is to put your hand on your diaphragm so you can figure out how your body's reacting to it. Because you want to a lot of people make the mistake of when they sing is they sing through their throat, not their diaphragm. You want to sing through your diaphragm because you sing through your throat, you're going to stress out your throat and your vocal cords. Sing, just like with voice acting, you do it all through your throat, you're going to stress it out. So, just like in singing, just try your best to do it from there. It's going to sound weird to do because it's hard to explain, but basically, if you sung before, you'll understand it. But if you haven't, just give it some practice. Just like regular acting, you use your voice to portray a character. Difference is, you only have your voice to use. So, traditional acting typically is different. That's you can use your whole body. People can see your face. People can see emotions, stuff like that, in your face, in your body language. You have to do all of that with just your voice in voice acting, and that's why some actors like movie star actors, when they go to do a voice role, they ain't so good at it because they're not used to acting with just their voice. They're used to acting with everything they've got. And that's going to be a key difference. That's why professional voice actors who do anime and games and stuff are way better at doing it than Hollywood actors because they're not trained to do it that way. Sometimes you'll get people who can do both. Like you've got Mike Myers, for example, who does Shrek. He can do both. But most traditionally trained actors have to relearn how to do that for voice acting. And it's going to be the same thing. If you've already done acting before, you probably know what I'm talking about. But if you're not, that's fine. You don't need to be an actor to know how to voice act. That just gives you an idea of where it's coming from. And like I said, voice acting is not the same as traditional acting. So don't worry about if you feel like you're overacting something in traditional acting, it's underacting in voice acting. We'll just get it that way. You gotta do it all with your voice. Learning to act takes time. Don't rush it. Go at your own pace. Don't worry if you're not that great when you first start doing this, because I'm going to be honest, you probably won't be. I wasn't. It took me a long time to figure it out. But that's what comes with practice, and we're going to do some practice here in just a second. So I'm going to move on to the next slide.
Okay.
And this is what I was talking about, the different styles of voice acting, because it's not all just one thing. So obviously, the most common one that most of us weebs know is anime. Anime is a visual medium that has audio recorded by people who do the roles. Whether you watch it in Japanese or English or another language, because there's dubs all over the world in different languages. it's the same idea, the same principle. Somebody had to have voiced that character. Drama is another one that's good. So this kind of is similar to like radio acting, but drama would be like reading from a book, or audiobooks also count as drama. Different style of like doing things that way. Obviously, anime is more high energy, so you're not going to do the same thing when you're reading a book or reading an audiobook or narrating something. Parody. Most probably the one most familiar to me, because I did it for years, abridged series. Some of you probably know what those are. You probably heard of Dragon Ball Z abridged, Yu-Gi-Oh abridged, Sword Art Online abridged. One of them. You've probably heard of it if you haven't seen it before. Parody voice acting is a little more over the top, and it's actually good practice for getting into real voice acting. That's how I started, actually. Parody voice acting tends to give you more range to work with, because you don't have to necessarily be a good actor to be a good parody actor, but it teaches you how to do certain things. Excuse me. Radio voice acting. So this would be, you don't really hear this too much anymore, except in podcast form, but there used to be radio dramas back in the good old days of the 1940s and 50s and 60s. People used to listen to radio dramas on the radio. You'd hear, everything from like murder mystery stories to like, anything under the sun. Yeah.
Podcasts do that now.
Podcasts do that now. Yeah. Good example, Nightingale. Nightingale's whole podcast is a radio drama. So if you've ever heard something like that, that's how it works. I sure hope the radio dramas were on the radio. Yes, exactly. I hope they were too. Because they don't really exist that much anymore. You can still find them in podcast form, though. Gaming. Gaming voice acting is different than anime voice acting, but it's pretty similar. Think of your favorite video game from the last 5 years. Probably has voice acting in it, unless it's an indie game, but we're not going to get into that. They just like with voice acting for anime, people have to train themselves to do acting for games. Some audiobooks have seen try to do audio dramas back in the day. Yeah, exactly. And then there's ADR, which is more common in the film industry. ADR stands for automatic dialogue replacement. So when they're filming a movie, there's so much background noise, they're not keeping the audio track that they record. Oftentimes, they have to go into the studio, and the actor has to recreate the energy they felt when they were filming it and redo the voice lines. This is the main type of acting that's very close to traditional acting, because you have to match yourself without redoing the action. But typically, we won't be running into ADR too much. However, if you go to be a voice actor in anime, ADR is something that you will have to deal with, because a lot of the times it's being translated from Japanese to either English or another language. So you have to match the lip sync. In Japan, they don't care about lip sync. They record the audio before like the thing's even animated. Like before they even care it's been done. Or sometimes it's animated way before, and the actors don't even get to see it. So they don't care about lip sync. But in English, they very much care that it's lip synced. That's why sometimes you'll get these long dialogue sequences in Japanese, and it's like 5 words in English. So we have to find a way to make it longer. Or sometimes you'll get something that's in Japanese that's 2 words, and it's like a big explanation in English. So you have to get creative with it. That's why I think that's why I have so much respect for English anime voice actors, because they have to do a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort to do that. And then of course, ASMR, which is kind of a new thing, which if anybody here who's a fan of VTubers, you probably know what ASMR is. It's all about that, getting those ticks off from whispering and whatnot and making different sounds. But ASMR is a form of acting. You have to do something to be good at it. Because I could just go real up close to the mic like this and keep talking like this, but that's not really gonna do anything for you. unless you're into that. You know what I mean? And there's a redeem for that. I have a redeem for that, but I'm not accepting that redeem right now, so don't think about it, Snow Fox.
I wanna hear ASMR.
You want to hear ASMR? My ASMR is not that great. I'm still getting used to doing that. Plus, I don't have the right equipment for it. My mic's kind of made for just regular voice intake. There's like special mics that you can get for that too.
Yeah, I have one. The Blue Yeti does that.
The Blue Yeti, yeah, it has a feature that lets you do that. There's also like a microphone that has left and right stereo options that you talk it. There's a microphone on each side that you talk into. I've seen it before. It's kind of crazy. Those are like expensive though. But I mean, if you're doing ASMR and you're making the big bucks, then people are going to do it, right? All right, next slide. Okay, so this is what I was going to talk about. So, finding your voices. So, at first, when it comes to voice acting, your range is going to be small. However, over time, it can be expanded. But just like anything, practice makes perfect, practice makes better. Just keep going with it. So, to start off, let's start off with impressions. Celeste, do you have any impressions you do?
The Tutsuru from Steins Gate.
Sorry, who was that?
In Steins Gate, there's like this character who goes like da-da-da.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's my only impression.
That's your only impression? There's no other characters that you can think of that you can do an impression of?
No.
Why is this not showing on the screen all of a sudden? Okay. What? Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. Give me 1 second here.
What's up?
Oh, my slides aren't showing on the screen now for some reason. Okay, there we go. So, is there any characters in anime that you think you could do voices of, for example? Anything else?
Not in
other than
anime,
that?
but in video games.
In video games, what do you think? What do you got?
Like, Yumi from League of Legends?
Okay, I'm not familiar with League of Legends, but show me what you got.
Why are you asking me to do one now?
Yes, I'm asking you to do one right now. Don't be embarrassed.
Wait, I have to listen. Is that okay? To her voice, I have to listen to her voice.
If you don't want to do it, you don't have to, but I just want to see what you're capable of.
Okay.
Or, you know what? I got a good one. Give me your best Ara Ara.
Okay. I'm really good at that. Ara. No, that wasn't the best. Ara. Yeah.
So see, that's voice acting right there. You had to do something with your voice to do that. Like, mine's not that great, but when I do mine is like a Ara. I'm also a dude, so it's harder for me to do a feminine voice, but that's a good example of voice acting right there. You have to change your voice to do that. So say you could get used to talking full sentences like that instead of just one phrase. But say the phrase you use the RR, for example, to get into the voice. That's what we call a trigger phrase. It kind of helps you get into the voice so you can continue rolling off of it. I had a character that I did, what was it? The anime, it was a parody of Katakeo Hitman Reborn. Are you familiar with that anime at all?
No.
So there's this character called Gokudera who refers to the mob boss with because he's the 10th as Judaime, because that's what would be 10th in Japanese. So for me to get into his voice, I would say Judaime. and that got me into the voice because he has like kind of like a voice that's kind of like this. I like to explode stuff.
Ah.
So he was the explosive expert. So the longer I would do a line for, because this was for someone else's project, the easier it was for me to lose the voice. So sometimes between sentences, I would quickly just throw in that "Judaime" so I could get back into the voice. It sounds silly.
That's funny.
It sounds silly, but that's a good way to get into a voice. If you have like a trigger word or like some kind of like tick that gets you into the voice. I had a voice for, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this voice because it's been a long time, but I did a parody in a group called Just Five Guys. We did K-On!, the anime K-On!, if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
The joke was we were all dudes and we were voicing an all-girls anime. That was the joke. And I voiced Yui. And so for me to get into her voice, I would say, "Mine!"
You would
And-
say what?
Her saying "mine," or like, because there was a joke where she would just steal stuff because she was a kleptomaniac. "Mine!" So that's how I would do it. Yes, this still exists on YouTube. You can find it, though it's been re-uploaded a million
Wait,
times.
I want to see it so bad.
I wouldn't watch it on Twitch. That's all I'm saying.
Can you send me the link after the stream?
I'll send you the link after the stream, though I will warn you, I was using a really old mic, and it was before I got really good at doing the voice, so just a heads up. Some of it's pretty bad. But that's the thing. Finding what you can do to get into your voice is an easy way to figure out what voices you can do. So, and early on, it's going to be really simple stuff, which is what I expect. But then eventually you'll be able to not have to use the trigger as much to get into that voice and to do it. Like if you want to do like a, I think the hardest thing for me being a barely bilingual Canadian, accents are hard for me, except my French accent because I grew up with that. But like if I want to do something like British, like it's harder for me. I need like a phrase. Like if I want to do like something chav, I'd be like, "Fuck you up, mate. You want to go for a scrap?" Or lately I've been trying to do Alexia impression, so to try to get into her voice. So I don't really have a trigger phrase for her though, but if I had to think of one, it'd be something like good morning everyone, welcome to the laboratory," something like that.
That's kind of good.
I shrimp Lexia pretty hard, so I listen and I edit videos for her, so I hear her voice constantly. So that's why I've been practicing doing that. I actually thought of for an April Fool's joke making a 3D model of her and pretending I was her on stream. But I didn't get everything I needed in time. So who knows? Maybe I'll do that eventually. It's stuff like that. You're going to need like triggers at first, but eventually you'll just be able to get into it and roll from there. So just remember, if you have trouble keeping a voice, you got those words, those phrases that'll get you back into it. So, and I use the RR as an example, but that's just one kind of voice. If like, I don't know if you want to do like mommy voice, but that's a good way to get into like a anime mommy voice. Dommy mommy voice. I mean, what? Sorry, I didn't say that. So the other thing to think about is thinking about what voices you might be good at. So Celeste, for you, since you're a female, a common voice for female voice actresses is boys, young boys. That's an easy one for females usually. So if you can do like, I don't know, examples, Ash from Pokemon, Gon from Hunter x Hunter, like there's a lot of like boys I can think of. If there's like a boy voice you can do, then you're pretty much set as a voice actress, because like getting a dude to do a boy's voice is tough. I mean, have you heard of Full Metal Alchemist?
No.
Never heard of the anime Full Metal Alchemist?
Yeah.
So when they did the original 2003 series, they dubbed it. They had a 12-year-old actually voice Alphonse Elric. But obviously, when they went to do Brotherhood, he was older and he couldn't do the voice anymore. So they hired an actress to voice Alphonse. So boys is an easy one. For dudes, gruff voices tend to be easier. Though, going back to speaking of Luxie again, she actually does a really good like dude voice, which I'm kind of impressed by. So you don't have to be limited to those things, but those are some easy ones to try out. So like if you have, I don't know, some boy characters you can think of, that would be some good ones to try and practice with. And boy voices tend to be higher up for dudes, but like mid-range for women. So let's see, the best boy voice I can do is this is gonna get really loud. This is a voice I've been working on for a character who's like oh, hello, it's me, I'm the boy. Let's go on an adventure together. That's a parody voice, by the way. That's why that one doesn't sound that great. Then you've got men voices like, I am here. And then you've got other voices like something a little more suave. Be like, well, hello there. Welcome to my domain. Please take a seat.
I like that.
Do you? Yeah? Do you want some more of that? Celeste, dear, would you like some more of that? Can I get an exclamation point clip in the chat for that? I work on my suave voices sometimes.
It's pretty good.
And the other thing too that I just want to mention is there's a lot of actors, voice actors and actresses who don't have the best range, but they know how to act. So that's something you can use as well. So even if you're worried about your range, and I'm saying this to anybody out there, perfect example, Jesse Nowak. Some of you might know them as Nowacking. They did voices for Team 4-Star. They're in a couple of production things. The most notable thing they're known for is Pokemon Bridged, which was a Pokemon parody. Jesse didn't have a very wide range of voices he could do. However, he knew how to act, and that's how he was able to be successful at it. So range is important, but so is acting. They're both kind of equally important, but if you suck at one, you can be really good at the other, and that will help you. So do not get discouraged at first if you find that you are not doing it the way you should. The other thing I was going to say is, specifically for you, Celeste, you're French. And when you speak English,
Yes.
I can hear your accent still. So something I might suggest you try practicing, doing an American accent. At some point. You don't have to do one right now, but something you might want to think about practicing.
Yeah.
You could do like a Texan or something if you want. I'm a trucker and I'm a trucker and I love my wife. She makes the finest pot roast. But you could also do like a mother, like, why you never call me anymore? Why we never talk anymore? Ever since you moved in with that man, you never want to talk to your mother. And just, I don't know if it's different in France, but voice acting, Quebec voice acting is very fast and loud. So I can't really give a good example because I can't speak enough of the language to tell you, but the French dub, the French Canadian dub of Dragon Ball, for example, they don't even care about the lip sync. They just fast and loud. That's what they do. So I don't know. Does anime get dubbed in French for you guys over there?
Yeah, they do.
What's it like for you guys? Like, if you had to think about it.
I think it's pretty similar to American, and we tend to make fun of a lot of the Quebec style of voice acting and translating things in general.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just like, you know, there's like, you get English in the United States and you have English in Australia. It's the same language, but things are different. It's like what I said like before to you, like you're the first person I know who speaks French who doesn't hate listening to people speak Quebec French, because like anybody else I talk to is like, don't speak French to me because your French is bad. That's basically what they say. I'm like, all right, I won't use my French then. I'll stick to English. But it's one of those things where like regions are going to matter, but there are things like in Australia they say things like, there's a fine looking Sheila over there, but we're not going to say that in American because it's like, that's a fine looking Sheila over there. What does that mean? Like, doesn't make much sense now. But that's just to give everybody an example of that, you know, accents, range, voices you can do, impressions, these are all things that can be put into it. Of course, these days, a lot of people, I think accents are being moved away from, because like a lot of people are like, well, somebody who has, you know, that type of accent should voice that role. It's not always the case though, because sometimes you get people who, you know, they're voice actors and they say, you know, they're a Scottish voice actor, they have a Scottish accent, and this is a Scottish character they're voicing, but maybe they're just not good enough to what the character needs. So accents are still important. So getting into it is a good way to not only practice it, but also a good way to give you more to work with, essentially. Is there any other voices you would like to be able to do, Celeste?
I really like how do I say that? Do you know Morgana from Persona 5?
Who from Persona 5, sorry?
Morgana.
Morgana?
Yeah.
Ooh, look at cool Joker. I can't do it.
I think I'd really like to do like this kind of little pet character.
Morgana is kind of a higher, like almost chibi voice, I would say, but it's not quite like chibi. It's a good one to practice to get into, because obviously the actress for Morgana, at least in English, is an actress, not an actor. So we know that. So we know it's someone doing it. But that doesn't necessarily mean also, by the way, to my dudes in the chat, that you can't do a voice like that. Just means it's going to be more suited to somebody who is feminine. But something like that, I would say, with what I know from you, you definitely could be able to do that. I think you could be able to do that just with enough practice. Are you looking to do like an impression of the English version?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That's where learning to do an American accent is going to come in handy. So that's something that you may want to learn. I mean, I've got as close to an American accent as you can get as a Canadian, so it's not too tough for me. But apparently I say about weird, according to some people.
About?
Apparently I say about.
Yeah, even to me it's weird.
Apparently I say about, which I don't hear.
About? About?
About.
No, it's normal, no?
About.
About. Maybe
also,
I'm saying it too.
Also, I say pasta instead of pasta or pasta.
Pasta.
Pasta. Pasta. I don't say pasta like some people. Just a gentle reminder, you're not. Wow, thanks, Grim. People make fun of me that all the time. Maggie, every time I say about, she's like, hee, you said a boot. I'm like, shut up.
About.
A boot.
Boot. It's like in French, there is like eh.
Oh my god, don't even get me started. That's still messes me up to this day. I remember once asking in French class, is it or eh? And I think my teacher was like, no. Okay. Oh, also, funny story. I have watched the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles more time in French than English. Because for some reason, they love playing that movie in schools here in Canada in French. I don't know why. So I used to be able to recite sections of that movie in French because I knew it so well in French. Then I saw it in English and I'm like, this feels weird.
That's a good thing if it. That's a good thing if it at least like teach you some phrases.
Japanese does that to me too.
Yeah, same,
exactly. Because of
exactly.
watching anime. That's a good way to get into trigger voices. Like, I haven't gone into Japanese voice acting because we will here in a moment, but so I have one voice that I use. I use the phrase "soka" to get into the voice. Soka. Doshite. Nande otoka. Henshin. Like stuff like that just to get into the voice. Omoe wa sumero kazero. Just
That
like
sounds
stuff like
like
that.
a game from Yakuza, a voice from a game from like Yakuza.
You know what's so funny? I just recently sang Baka Mitai on TikTok to do some more low voices. I don't know much about it, but like I know the low tone Japanese man voice. You know, so just again, trigger words. Soka.
Soka.
There you go. Soka. Baka janai.
That's pretty good.
I also am a big fan of Tokusatsu, Kamen Rider, Super Sentai. I'm a nerd.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of characters that have voices like that. Like, so I'm used to hearing it like that. So that's why I'm like, that's why Soka is like my trigger word for that kind of voice. But yeah, so I'm just good. We've been on the slide for a bit, so I'm going to move on to the next one. Here we go. Voice acting in different languages. We were just talking about that. So, just a quick explanation.
So hard.
English voice acting tends to be more subtle and focus more on character rather than being over the top. It tends to sound closer to real life because a lot of dramas and stuff use a particular way of acting, even live action dramas in English. You could compare a K-drama to a North American drama, and it's completely different, just as another example. Japanese voice acting is more over the top and expressive. It focuses more on being in character and matching the energy of them. So, I'm sure, as my fellow weebs have probably related to before, the argument of subs versus dubs. Most people say that subs are superior because it's the original language and the original way it's intended, which I can agree. It makes sense. However, there's a difference between "Dorste nane sogara" and like
That was so good.
and like what the hell is he doing? Stuff like that. Like, or saying like "Kisama, you bastard," stuff like that. So I like Japanese voice acting, but I tend to go to dubs because I like to hear how someone in English is doing it, because English dubs are overacted already, but Japanese dubs, way more. Way more. Perfect example, I watch My Hero Academia in both English and Japanese. And I do that, one, because I have friends who are in it in English, and two, because I like to get both experiences. But there are some shows, for example, that I cannot watch in Japanese. Dragon Ball is a good one, because I don't know if you've heard Dragon Ball in Japanese, but they have a 75-year-old woman voicing Goku and all of his sons. And no disrespect to Masako Nozawa. She's a fantastic lady. She's been doing this for a long time. But Goku should not sound like a woman. It just doesn't fit for me. On the flip side, the certain scientific railgun and certain magical index series, I can't stand in English. I think the acting is not good enough to be in English, so I prefer to watch that in Japanese. Everybody's going to have their preference. Everybody's going to have their way of going, but depending on what language you're acting in, you have to adjust yourself for it. So just again, the comparison to French. If I was doing acting in Quebec French, it'd be fast and loud. I'm not going to, because I would assault everybody's ears with my terrible French. But
I actually want to hear now.
I don't know enough phrases. You really want me to be like... Don't put me on the spot like this.
Go on. Go on.
Okay, I need a phrase in French, because I don't know the phrase.
How long?
Let's see.
Say something in English and I'll translate it to you.
Okay. How about we must attack before it is too late?
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna type it to me? You're gonna laugh so hard at this. Were you typing this in our DMs?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to say this so I can hear it back.
Nous devons attaquer avant que ce ne soit trop tard.
You think I can do that?
Allez, slower. Nous devons attaquer avant que ce ne soit trop tard.
Nous devons attaquer avant que ce ne soit trop tard. Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
So if I was to do that in the Quebec way, it would be like, okay, let me read it a couple of times first. Okay. Okay, let me just one more time. Is nous devons attaquer avant que ce ne soit trop tard? Am I saying that right?
Oui, yes.
Okay. It'd be like, nous devons attaquer avant c'est à toi. That's Quebec voice acting. That's Quebec voice acting.
That was good.
Monsieur Goku! Oh my god. I hope everybody, if there's anybody who speaks French in your chat, I hope they weren't assaulted just now.
Yeah, there are some.
Oh, I'm sorry. How do you say sorry in French?
Désolé.
Désolé. Gomen nasai. Gomen nasai.
Gomen nasai.
Gomen nasai. That's so cute. I'm crying. Shut up. I'm not used to this. I'm used to people being like, "Don't." You're assaulting my ears. But you and him are just like, "Oh, it's so cute." I'm just like, "Shut up."
You. We like people who don't speak French to speak French.
But no, yeah. Just going back to the point. That's the difference between acting in different languages. It's not going to be the same. If you try to do Japanese acting in English, it just sounds weird and dumb. And this isn't the best explanation, but Filthy Frank did a video explaining, I think it was like his weeaboo video, explaining, you know, people don't talk like they do in anime in real life in Japan. And there's a reason why they don't, because they're acting. So that's one of those things that is a good differentiation between languages. English is going to sound different than Japanese and French and German. And oh my God, there's some German dubs. Oh my gosh. I'm going to get some, next time I do this, I'm going to get some examples that I can play for everybody so you can hear the difference. Because there's a video on YouTube of all the dubs of Dragon Ball in like every language. So there's some crazy ones, but I speak better French than you do, Salt. Well, that's not saying much. That is not saying much. So, just so everybody knows, I took French until 10th grade. And then I had the option not to take French anymore. And because I felt like I was dumb in that class, I decided not to. But I highly regret it because now I don't remember anything. I can read it. If you give me a phrase to read, I can read French. But if you ask me to have a conversation with you, not happening. Not happening at all. It's even more...
It's okay. I'll teach you.
Yes, you're going to teach me. But it's even more embarrassing because they have this thing over here called French Immersion School, where they teach you everything in French. My cousins all went to that, and they all remember French. I was too dumb, so I didn't get into French Immersion School. So I had to deal with just taking French class once a day, 5 times a week. So for like a couple hours. So that's the difference. When I go to see my family, and some of them only speak French because they're from Montreal or some part of Quebec, it's great because I'm like, bonjour.
Bonjour, ma famille.
Il n'est pas de français. I know that's not how you say I can't speak French, but that's the best that can do.
No, that's really not.
What am I actually saying when I say that? I am not French, or I do not French?
Repeat it.
Il n'est pas de français.
He is not the French.
It is not the French.
Yes.
It is not the French. And if you really want to make it broken, I'll just do it in like I'll just do it as if I was monolingual. Il n'est pas de Francis. Il n'est pas de Francis. Can you pass the French?
It's like one thing I really like is like people saying Japanese phrases with thick English accent. I find that so funny.
Well, the other thing too is when you're doing another language, like when I do another language, I try to get into an accent. Like I have a Japanese like style accent I do for Japanese. And obviously growing up learning French, I still have a Quebec French accent that I use when I speak French. But it's like,
not very good.
It's not very good. Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
I know. It's not very good because I haven't practiced it. This is my problem. Go back to my point. Practice makes perfect. So when it's my turn to be taught French by you, you can just beat it into me to do it right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But that's voice acting in other languages. It's weird, it's complicated, but it makes sense if you think about it. So now, practice and trigger phrases. We talked about this a little bit. Getting something to get you into a voice. Why is it not showing up on the screen? Oh, now it shows up on the screen. Okay, fine, whatever. Thanks, slobs. Okay, great. So, first thing I'm going to suggest to anybody out there and to you, find a few voices you can do. Practice, practice, practice. That's all I can say. Do it for a couple times a day. Do it when you're driving, in the shower, I don't know. When you've got nothing to talk about on stream, I guess. I don't know. It's like when people aren't paying attention, just give them a quick yada yada does it. Or a quick your soul is mine. Just something.
Where is that from?
Oh, that's from Mortal Kombat.
Ah, yeah, true.
So, because that is how you get into doing the voices, is just finding it and doing it. And hearing how people say certain things. That's an easy way to get into it, too. What's a good example? Well, the Mortal Kombat one's a good one. Obviously, if I just said, your soul is mine.
Your soul is mine.
And even if I do the voice, your soul is mine. It still sounds like I'm just saying it, but you got to put the, your soul is mine. I'm doing something there to do it. I'm acting. I'm putting it in there. Even if you're afraid you're going to overact it, just do it. Eventually you'll get... I'm not worried about anybody who's starting off, they're going to overact. That comes with time. So if you have to exaggerate it, do it. Whatever gets you into it. Vocal exercises help to widen your range. Again, just like singing, that's how you get your range, by practicing different vocal exercises. Some of the ones we started off at the start of this lesson with. The growling exercise. The other ones. Oh, Krim, really? You're doing this to me right now? Hold on, I have to turn my... I have to change, Celeste.
Huh?
I have to become a maid. Somebody redeemed for me to become a maid.
Oh god.
Give me just a second. Oh boy. I'm gonna disappear off my screen for a second.
Alright.
And I'm gonna switch into my maid outfit. Alright, I'm gonna get real big on your screen. So they redeemed pink. So it's this one.
Oh my god, cute!
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cute too. Oh, my arm, what are you doing? Now tell me how glad you are to see me come home and... Oh no, don't... Okay. Celeste, I need your help.
Sure.
How in French do you do the... Okay, you know in Japanese that they have the welcome home, honey. Would you like food? Would you like a bath? Would you like food?
Yeah.
Or would you like watashi? I need that in French.
Okay.
How do you say also how do you say welcome home, master, in French?
You don't say that.
You don't
You
say that?
Bienvenue. Bienvenue.
Oh, you know what? I remember that. That was in Tony Hawk 2. Because you have to go do Marsdale for a thing. Bienvenue something Marsdale. I can't remember the whole thing. Bienvenue.
What's the phrase?
What's the phrase?
Food?
Would you like dinner, a bath, or would you like me? Oh God. Oh God. I can hear you typing.
I sent it to you. Please say I didn't write it to the wrong person.
No, you sent it to me. So that's bienvenue chez vous, maître. Am I saying that right?
Maître.
Maître. Est-ce que vous voulez...
Non, est-ce que vous...
Est-ce que vous voulez... Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you say that?
Dîner.
Dîner?
Mm-hmm.
En bon? Or am I saying that right?
Un pain.
En bon? Okay, how do I do that? Because I don't understand the...
Bienvenue chez vous, maître. Est-ce que vous voulez le dîner, un pain, ou peut-être moi?
Okay. So, bienvenue chez vous, maître. Or am I saying that wrong?
Maître.
Maître. Okay. Bienvenue chez vous, maître. Est-ce que vous? Vous?
Est-ce que vous?
Is it vous? It's vous. Okay. Voulez le dîner? Bon? Is it bon?
Read me, Daddy.
Ah! I'm being raided. Oh my God. Ari, thank you for the raid. No raid message. Hello, everybody. Thank you for the raid. If there's a mod in the chat, can we get a shout out for Ari? You guys came at the right time. I'm doing terrible French. I'm bad at French. Oh my gosh. Thank you for the raid. Yes, Ari. That's my raid message. It says raid me, daddy. Shuno, thank you for the follow. Sorry. Axis Meyer, thank you for the follow. Ixali the Lizard Man, thank you for the follow. Yes, you came at the right time, Ari. Celeste is teaching me how to do French, and I'm failing at it. Okay, let me try this again. Bienvenue chez vous. Am I right so far?
Yes.
See, I want to keep saying chevaux because in
No, it's horse.
this is okay. This is the thing. My mother loves The Young and the Restless, the soap opera, and there's a company called Chevaux in that. And I keep wanting to say chevaux, but that's not how you say that. I know that's not how you say that. So it's chez vous, right? Or chez vous?
Yes.
Bienvenue chez vous. Maître.
Maître.
Maître. Do I gotta put more phlegm into it?
You sound way too aggressive.
Do I have to put more phlegm into it?
I'm scared. Maître.
Est-ce que vous voulez?
Est-ce que vous voulez?
Is it dîner or is it
Le dîner?
le dîner? En bois?
Un pain.
En
Pain.
bois? Peut-être moi?
Ou peut-être.
Peut-être. Okay. Ou peut-être moi? As you can see, I need a lot of practice with French, everybody. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about voice acting. So, now that I've thoroughly embarrassed myself in front of everyone, including all the raiders who came from Ari's stream, my pronunciation is very fun. Aggressive French is fine. Thanks, guys. Wait, this isn't a French lesson stream? No. That's next time. No. You want me to teach you French? Oh, boy.
You should teach me French.
Oh, my... No. You've heard what I can say in French, and it's not much. Celeste, don't do this to me.
Come on, teach me how to say the phrase.
No.
Teach it to me. Teach
No.
it to me.
No.
Teach it to me.
No.
No.
No. And they were both tops. I'll teach you Dutch. Oh, salt. I don't know. My brain can only fit like 3 languages. And one of them is HTML. Techie joke. Okay, where was I before I got off to a start of saying French poorly? Okay. Vocal exercise. Yes.
Yes.
You're still making fun of the way I say it. I'm sorry, Celeste, should I add more phlegm to it? Should I add more phlegm?
Yeah. I never want to be your master.
Celeste, you can be my master anytime you want.
No.
Now I'm just imagining.
No, don't imagine. What the fuck?
No, I won't say what it is, but I'm imagining like if you got like a dominatrix outfit.
That will never happen.
You say that. Give me time. Anyways, yes, vocal exercises. Just like we were saying before, the growling thing, where you try to sound like the person from The Grudge, being able to do stuff like that. Practicing as high as you can go without straining your vocals, your vocal cords. Going as low as you can before you start getting that scratchiness. Good techniques to use. Good techniques to use for that. We already had a Lewd Jail redeem 42 triangles. Don't get started. Find phrases that help you get into the voice. Like I said, trigger words. Like when I said "du daime" to get into that one voice, or using "soka" to get into that low Japanese voice. And of course, the most important, drink water. So many people will get into the booth or whatever they have for their thing, will do voice lines for me, and I can tell near the end of it they weren't drinking water. And I'm like, why do you sound so strained at the end? Oh, I wasn't drinking water. My voice is getting tired. Drink water. People don't realize how important it is. Just like with regular streaming, you want to drink water. Hydration, very important. That's how you get to passing out from yelling, by not hydrating. So, questions? Comments? Anything you guys want to know? Anything you want to know, Celeste, about voice acting that I didn't go over today? Anything you want clarification on? This is also opened up to both our chats, so if anybody has questions, please let us know.
I kinda have to think where like it's pretty hard to me to like scream and like do like emotions, right? Because I'm kinda shy and I'm like kinda
And that is something that is going to be hard to get over. Because I know when I lived at home, it was a lot harder. Because my office did not have a door for most of my time living at home.
Oh.
So when I did voice acting, I had to wait till people left the house to do it. So that's when I did most of it. So that is going to be one thing that's difficult. I mean, some people just don't care, which is fine. But I also was like, it's kind of embarrassing. So what I would do actually is I would tell my family, guys, I'm closing this door down here to the basement because that's where my office was, because I was what my dad called a cellar dweller. I'm going to be yelling. I'm not in pain. It's just acting. And they'd be like, okay. My folks were very supportive. They didn't understand it, but they were very supportive. So that's one thing. My roommates, both of them wear noise-canceling headphones, so they can't hear me. If they do, they're just like, oh yeah, I heard you yelling about something the other day. I'm like, oh yeah, I was just voice acting. It is going to be a little embarrassing at first too, to do it live. Easy way to practice though, record yourself doing it. Listen back to it. It's less embarrassing if it's just you listening to it, right? And by the way, I didn't mean to put you on the spot today. I just wanted to see what you could do.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you. Because you were, when I was asking you, like, what kind of impressions you can do, you were kind of like,
No problem. I was just like, I didn't really think about that.
But that's something that can be good to do, just if you can practice by, like, just recording yourself. Do you have Audacity? Do you have any, like, audio recording program that you use?
No, but like, I'm a singer.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course you do. That's a stupid question for me to ask. So you've got audio recording software. So
yeah.
And one thing that's going to be tough is, as streamers, we don't listen to our own voice that often, unless we look back at our stuff. When you're doing voice acting or anything where you have to record something, you have to listen to it back. So you have to eventually get used to your voice. I've gotten super used to my voice because I just listen to it all the time. I don't shut up, as you could probably tell. But it's one of those things where it's embarrassing at first. It definitely is. I totally was there too. But over time, you'll be less embarrassed about it, and you'll be more comfortable with getting into it. You should get to a point where you like your own voice. I do like my own voice. I wish, it was slightly different, but I'm not going to worry about it. This is one of those things where it becomes difficult for people who want to voice act, but they're trans, because they already have to learn how to train their voice, and then they have to act on top of that. It's a whole different story. Do a evil flower laugh? What's a flower laugh? Snow Fox. Do you want like an evil laugh? Because I can do a couple of those. What was that? What was that face you just made? Are you laughing at me?
No.
Anybody in the chat got any questions? In my chat or Celeste's chat? Oh, Flowey the Flower? Oh, from Undertale? I can't do that. That's the closest I could do. do like a Woody Woodpecker laugh. Oh my god. Does anybody have any questions? Celeste, if you think of any more questions or anything you want to know about, just let me know. If anybody in your chat has questions, let me know. And I'll see if I can answer. But if they're in French, please don't read them to me in French. I won't know what you're saying.
We need you to learn voice acting in French.
Oh my god. Once I can master doing regular phrases in French, voice acting won't be too difficult for me. Because I already know how to act. Of course, I'll have to probably watch more stuff in French, which I was thinking of doing anyways when we started doing our lessons, so I can get more into the voice. Also, it gives me an excuse to rewatch some stuff.
I could also give you some like French movies or shit like that you could watch. That would be interesting.
Well, the nice thing about living in Canada is Netflix and all those, I can switch the language to a lot of them over to French. So I could probably start watching. You know what I should do? I have the Canadian Blu-ray of like the Star Wars movies. I should watch those in French.
Oh. The Canadian? Does that mean you have both like French and English?
So some of our releases for games and movies and stuff have to be bilingual. And if you get a game from, oh, by the way, Kara Unograph, thank you for the follow, appreciate it. Welcome to the Hunter Base. If you buy a video game in Canada and it has a instruction manual, it has to be in both English and French. It has to be in both. The back of the box has to have both English and French on it. That's an example. Is this a Canadian? Yes, here we go. I happen to have a copy of Snoopy's Grand Adventure for Xbox One just by my desk. On the back, it says, "Make every day an adventure." And then and that says it in French, which is, I'm going to attempt to say, "Faites de chaque jour une adventure." And it says players 2, co-op 2, and it says in here, jour? Is that how you say players in French? Jour. And so, and it even says the warning in French. Like the entire thing on the back is in both English and French. That is a requirement by the Canadian government that because we are technically a bilingual nation, even though the only places that really use French are Ottawa and Quebec, everything has to have that's printed for that is not in an area where it's only one language has to be done in French. But because games are pressed and movies are pressed and everything to be sold all over the place here, every game box is going to have French on the back. That's a weird thing I've never thought of about collectors, because I'm a game collector, but I don't specifically have Canadian versions of games because I think it's more collectible. I just have them because that's what I buy. But I've also bought games in the States and in other regions where the box has just English on the back of it. So, but no, that is totally a requirement over here. It has to be in both languages. Not every game or movie has to offer French as an audio option, but a lot of them do. So I probably have a ton of movies and stuff I could just start watching in French just to start absorbing it. It gives me an excuse to rewatch stuff. Because that's how I picked up most of my Japanese, is I just watched stuff subtitled in English. So you just hear something many times. You just eventually get it. Though singing in Japanese is still a weakness for me. I still got to figure that out. I couldn't even manage Baka Mitai. Like,
I actually learned quite a lot, like just listening to Japanese music and trying to, like, looking at the English translated lyrics. That touched me a lot.
That's the thing I've been trying to learn, because we had talked about doing some stuff together for music related stuff, and I find a lot of times when I find an English version of a song, there's like 4 different ways it's been translated, so it's like hard to pick which one's the right one. So sometimes I'm just like, fuck it, I'll just do it in Japanese.
I can just write English lyrics.
Yeah. We could do that too. One thing I actually used to do for vocal covers is I would. This is not a good thing to do, but I would Google Translate the Japanese into English,
Oh God!
and then I would rewrite the English to make it comprehensible. So, like, it's not a smart way to do it, but that's something I do. Or, for example, if I was singing an anime opening, a lot of the times the subtitles don't make sense to sing in English. So I would just rework those into a different phrase. I think a lot of people who do English covers of Japanese songs do that. But yeah, I can only imagine. Do you sing anything in French, by the way?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah?
One of my next cover is gonna be in French.
Ooh.
Teasing, teasing, teasing.
Oh my gosh. Just tease us all with that. Oh my gosh. Celeste, you're such a tease.
Mommy, pick me up. There's a strange man talking to me.
There's this strange French Canadian talking to me.
No.
I can't understand a word he's saying.
He called me maître or something.
Maître.
I did the recording of that. I want to set it up as like my sub alert.
Do you want me to record that and give it to you?
Yes, please. Actually, could you record the whole phrase that I sent you?
And then all your French, like, people, like, viewers will be very confused, be like, what is that? Why does it sound so bad? You be like, don't worry about it. It's just some Quebec French person. And be like, soka. I don't know why they would speak Japanese, but they would say that. All right, well, Celeste, I hope you liked Lewd Jail, because we're going back in.
Why?
Somebody else redeemed it.
I didn't do any lewd crimes.
Okay, Zero, it's all right, 5 more minutes of this. So, does anybody in your chat have questions?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Well, that's it for my first voice acting lesson. I can talk still for everybody. Was it informative? Did it help you at all?
It was pretty good. You explained pretty well.
I tend to talk a lot, and I'm sorry if I didn't give you enough chances to talk.
No, that's good.
But I wanted to make sure the information is out there, because I think a lot of people don't understand how voice acting works. Like there was no book on how to do this when I started. Mm-hmm. I had to figure it out. But one thing I was going to suggest to you, Celeste, if you're open to doing it, when you get more comfortable doing voice acting, how would you feel if we did a little bit of an abridged short?
Oh, sure.
That way, because I was thinking of doing... I haven't practiced my lip sync editing in a long time, and I used to edit abridged series for a lot of people. So I thought it would be fun to get you used to doing voice acting if we give you something easy and fun to do to get into it. Because actually, like I said, parody voice acting is different. It's very much more exaggerated, but it's a good way to get into learning how to do voices, because that's how I got to where I was. I'm not even the best voice actor, but I know enough to be able to do, because I've done games, I've done some shows, stuff like that. Nothing super major, but enough that I've gotten work before. And I mean, obviously what I'm working on these days is more on the off-brand stuff that I can't talk about on Twitch, but you know, with Devi and stuff.
Shut up. I know.
So I'm always learning new stuff with voice acting. So even though I've been doing this for a while, there's always room to learn. There's always room to learn new things. I guess what I should say is, do you have any goals for voice acting? What do you want to do with it?
Like, improve my yandere voice acting readings?
Oh, you have yandere voice?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Are you gonna do Yandere ASMR? Like
I'd really love that.
like welcome
What are
home,
you touching?
sweetie.
Wait,
Welcome home. I noticed that you were talking to women at your workplace today. What's the problem? Do you like them more than me?
yeah, exactly that. I love that.
Do you know Mary, I think it's Mary Weatherly's
Yeah,
Yandere-chan thing? That, you know what? That would be a fun thing to do. Do you want to dub that at some point?
Stalker.
Yeah, Stalker.
I would love to voice like that.
That would be a fun project we could do. If there's anything you want to do to like practice it, like as a video project, just let me know. And because I would be happy to do some more stuff to help out my friend.
That's very nice.
Dude, you're very nice. The
Are you joking?
it's not Sunday yet, no. So no.
Oh my god!
Listen, Celeste. Listen.
Don't look at me with that smile.
Listen. That application's not going away.
Shut up! I don't want-
I'm sure you know a few things.
I'm being sexually harassed on stream. Somebody help!
All right, well, Horny Jail's now done, so I'm going to take it away. I'm going to turn this face off. Okay. So yeah, so guys, I guess you're going to be seeing some projects from us eventually. As a good way to practice. And just for anybody else listening, that's another good way to practice comic dubs. Find your favorite scene from an anime. Do voices for it. Do voiceover for it. Find other people who would like to do projects with you. There's always tons of people. I can't tell you how many times I'll go into... Unfortunately, the Voice Acting Alliance is no longer around because that website was shut down a couple years ago. But there are voice acting discords that you can find. If you just Google for it, you can find them. And there's always people looking for, I need someone to voice this character in this thing for this.
There is a casting club call, no?
Yes. Casting Club is one of them. There's also, I'm trying to think. Team 4-Star has a section in their server for casting people. This is another thing you can do. There's a few of them out there. Definitely the best way, a good way to get into it is seeing if what you can do is just start, you know, if you see something that somebody's looking for to do a project, audition. The worst somebody can say is no. And if you're prepared for somebody to say no, then when you get it, it's going to be that much better because you'll be like, oh, I did it. And most of my friends who are contract voice actors these days, that's how they started. They started by doing fan dubs. They started by doing comic dubs. One person, I'll just show real quick on my screen here. I'll go to his website. My friend Brandon Rainsford, who is he does audiobooks. He does voice acting. He was the voice of Raditz in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, just for example thing. He was the creator of Naruto Abridged, for those who don't know. He has a website. I'm trying to find it. Where he has his demo reel available. And I'm going to show everybody on my screen. I'll have to send you a link here.
Okay.
So you can see it. Wait a second here. So he has a demo reel at the bottom of his page that he recorded in a professional studio. You don't have to have a demo reel recorded in a professional studio, but this is what it could sound like with just, and he's been doing this for 10 years, 10 plus years, as long as I have, or even longer. This goes to show you like how someone can go from like just starting out to being like professional grade. It takes time, but you practice it, you should be able to achieve things like that. You should be able to achieve whatever you want to do. Another good example, Momoki on YouTube. I used to teach her voice acting stuff years and years ago, and now she's like one of the most popular voice actresses and singers on YouTube. Let's see. I'm trying to remember her name right now. Another friend of mine. Oh my gosh, why can't I remember her name?
She's your friend and you cannot remember her name?
I can't remember her username. I'm trying to remember her real name. I know her real name. I'm trying to remember her username because the username's the thing that people are going to want to look for. Oh my gosh. It's going to come to me at the worst time. But another example of, well, not my friend, somebody that Brandon was friends with, Micah Soulsod, who is the voice of Soul in Soul Eater in the English dub, for example. That was his first major role. You got people like, trying to think off the top of my head all the people I know. Just good example, Martin, otherwise known as Little Karibo. He started off doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, and if you watch those first episodes, they're not very good, but you learn from doing. It just goes to show you, like, you can go from, it doesn't matter how poor you are at it at first, you will eventually get better with enough practice and time. That's just something that I want to say. So I want to say to people, don't get discouraged. If it doesn't sound amazing the first time you do it, it never will. I could show you some of my like earliest stuff that's not good. I won't, because some of it's not safe for Twitch and it's against TOS. But there is some old stuff I could show that you could definitely still hear it's me, but I've grown as an actor since then.
Yeah.
So anybody out there, don't feel discouraged. You're not going to be great when you start, but you will be as time goes on. And that's true for everybody. And that's true for you, Celeste. And I believe in you. And you're going to be awesome. And then one of these days, you're going to be a professional voice actress in some, I don't know, whatever French dubbing company they have over there. And I'll be like, I know her. She's my friend. I'll be like, they grew up so fast. I'm so proud of her. And if you don't, hey, I only do professional stuff on the side. So my main gig is the VTubing thing. Voice acting is kind of a side gig for me. So I'm as good as I need to be for what I need to do. And I go from there. Now, just real quick, if you guys want to, this is a bit of advertising. If you guys want to see that game, Gaikokujin no Sensei, the one I mentioned at the start, there is a demo available. I think I'm in the demo of the game. I can't remember. But it is a visual novel. There's not a lot of male characters in it, so there's a link, by the way, Celeste. Sorry, I just realized I didn't send it to you. But I've myself and a couple other fellow actor friends do voices in it. I actually, funny enough, I edited the trailer for this. So if you watch the trailer, I made that. That was my first time editing a game trailer, by the way. So if it's bad, I'm sorry. But this just, and there's voice lines on here where you can listen to the actors. He's got both actors and actresses who speak both English and Japanese, because this is a game that takes place in Japan with people who speak both languages. So if you want to keep an eye on this, you can't, the Kickstarter's over, so you can't back it right now anymore, but there is a demo in there if anybody wants to try it. It's going to be a pretty interesting game. It's got some beautiful art. Actually, my background that I have for my streams was done by the same artist who did the background art for this game. So you can see their work there. But yeah, no, this should be coming out sometime this year. I think the game is nearly complete. So that's something to check out, give you an idea. And this is just an idea of something that he held auditions for voices for this game. Sometimes there'll be games and stuff like this that are like, hey, we need people to do voices for us. Perfect opportunity for you to get yourself out there. Audition. Even if you don't think you're going to get it, audition. Because if you audition, one, you're getting practice. 2, you might get lucky and they'll accept you. And 3, a lot of these are paid gigs. So that's how you can start making some money doing voice acting. But of course, the main thing that I always say is have fun with it. If you're not having fun doing it, don't force yourself. Just like with streaming, just like anything else, have fun with it. If you're not going to be a professional overnight, I know I sound like a broken record at this point, but you're not going to be a professional overnight. You're not going to be the best ever in a few days. But if you work at it, practice at it, you'll get it. It happens. And that is my TED Talk for the day. And I don't know how to end things, but that's basically where I'm going with this. Is there anything you want to say, Celeste?
No. It was very fun to learn voice acting with you. And I can't wait to teach you French.
Yes, I can't wait either. Was I a good teacher? Was I helpful at all?
You were good. I did learn a few things.
Oh, yeah? Well, that's good. And then hopefully and obviously, if you have any questions later on down the line, just tell me and I'll happily help out. Same with if you want direction. If you ever want direction for recording audio for voice acting stuff, hit me up. I've done voice directing before too. So that's something I can help out with as well. And I've been the best. Well, thank you, Los Gatos de Wilson. I sometimes think I'm not a good teacher. So
you're a good teacher.
Oh my gosh. Don't butter me up too much now. So next week, do you want to do same time for some French?
Yes.
Why'd you get all gremlin-y when I said that?
It's gonna be so fun.
Oh, don't give me another gremlin. I already deal with Meggie and Radia.
I'm not a gremlin. I'm very cute and adorable.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yes?
And you can choose not to answer it. But I need to know because people won't stop talking about it. Can you explain the whole pee thing? Why do people in Live call you the VTuber?
That's a chord.
Is that why your halo's dripping? Is that pee?
People have been saying it's pee. And also I might have threatened a few people to pee on them to assert dominance, but that has nothing to do with
the first thing you said to me.
Don't talk.
The first thing you said to me on Twitter was you told me to pee on you.
Yes, that's a compliment.
And my response was, if I do, I own you because I'm a cat. And then you retracted your statement real fast.
Yes. But that's just mean, okay? That's just memes. There is nothing behind it.
What about that time that Alexia said she was going to take a piss and you told her to send pics?
I want to die. Did you never send pee pics to your friends? Come on.
Pics? I've never thought about taking a pee and then sending a picture to somebody.
Yeah, me neither.
Why did you laugh so nervously when you said that?
No reason.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry I asked such an awkward question, but I had to know because everybody is like, I went to a live dream collab and people kept calling you that. And I was like, is this actually a thing? Like,
I don't have a pee fetish, okay? I don't.
you don't? Okay. It's on the record, everybody. She does not. No, she's not sus. Come on.
And no horses either, because no.
Okay, hold on. You gotta explain that. Horses. What?
Okay. When I was young, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I had a crush on Spirit the horse.
Like from...
Come on! Yeah, Spirit the horse.
Okay.
Come on.
You know what? You know what? I get it because I like Pretty Derby.
What is that?
That's the anime with the horse girls. It has a new mobile game.
Let me check that.
It's got a full name, but it's known as Pretty Derby. And there's some off-brand content that they have big.
This. Okay.
What Las Gatos to Wilson? As a kid, you had a crush on Mickey Mouse? What? Or no, someone you knew did.
That's kind of cringe.
I mean,
that's worse than Spirit. No, come on, guys.
I had a crush on Sailor Jupiter, so.
Like, that's okay. That's okay.
I didn't realize that, like, I think that's when I first realized that I like sporty girls.
Look at Spirit the fucking horse.
Spirit
He's
the
hot.
fucking horse.
Look at this. He's so hot.
Are you sending me these pictures or?
No, I'm looking at them on my stream. He's so hot. Wait, I'm sending it to you.
Spirit the horse. I have a lot of people in my DMs right now. Oh, this fucking horse.
He's so fucking hot.
I mean, he was made to look that way.
Yes.
Just for my stream.
I don't have a horse fetish. This horse is way too human.
Well, isn't he supposed to be human, but he was turned into a horse or something?
No, but yes, like, he's a horse that can talk and shit. It's kind of rebellious.
Sailor Mercury is my second Los Gatos because I like them spicy too.
No, yes, he looks like a horse, but he's a hot horse.
Hold on, I need to see this. Spirit the horse as a human. I want to see if anybody's done it. Oh my god, Celeste.
What? Human.
I have to send this to you.
Oh.
Did you see the one I just sent you?
What did you send me? Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at right now. It's hot. Damn.
See, that's why it looks. That's why it's not weird because it actually. No one is calling you a furry. That's all I'm saying. And if they are, for shame for making furries feel bad.
Wait, are you saying I'm worse than furries?
No, because I'm saying that people shouldn't make fun of furries. Because furries get made fun of enough. Why does the horse look like a cover of an emo album? Los Gatos. It kind of does, actually. It kind of does. You know what? I get it. He is kind of like dark and brooding.
Even the chick, she's so hot.
Right? They did that on purpose.
Yeah, they did that on purpose to turn children into horse fetishes. Like, come on, guys.
It's a conspiracy.
Yeah, this in real life horse, I don't want to smash, but Spirit the horse? Come on. You cannot say it's not hot.
You want to smash Spirit the horse?
Come on, I'm not a horse fetishist. I'm just Spirit the horse is good looking. Stop laughing.
No, I get it. Would you leave? Did you fucking leave my Oh, okay. Why is your model's gone?
Oh, is it better now?
There we go. I see it again. It just says stream pause, and I thought you like disconnected. And I'm like, oh my god, I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at the ridiculousness of it. But like, I get it. Like, I can't. I wouldn't be able to judge you for that. Like, look, I'm friends with some weird people. I'm friends with Sakimification. He's told me some stuff. I mean, there's a few people who told me some stuff. Pearl, Luxia. I've seen some stuff. I'm not weirded out by this.
Okay, but because that's not weird.
But yeah, no, that's why I'm like, I don't get why people would be weirded out by it, because it's a very human-looking horse. They did that on purpose.
Yeah. He's literally talking in the movie.
I have not seen this movie in so long, so I don't remember it. So, if people do people actually like get on you about that, about Spirit the horse?
They make fun of me for it, but that's just
that's not fair. Friggin' bronies exist. Come on.
Yeah. I don't want to smash a pony.
Well, I'm calling out your chat right now.
Oh god,
Calling
I
out
got
your
to
chat.
read Angel humiliate you.
Look. If bronies get respect, Celeste should get the same respect for liking a horse.
That still sounds weird.
I'm not saying you want to fuck a horse. I'm saying, do you think that this specific animated horse is attractive?
Yes.
That doesn't mean... I'm making it worse. Shut up, chicken. I'm trying to help. I've made it worse. Okay, I'm just going to shut up now, because I'm apparently making it worse. I'll stop. But I get it. I get it, because it looks very... Even the girl horse is pretty. Like,
yeah, she's so pretty.
look at that. What about the last unicorn?
The last unicorn?
Have you seen that?
The last unicorn. I don't know, it's just a unicorn. No, it's pretty, but
It's a
like
very-
not I would smash pretty. It's more like I would pet.
Yeah. No, but that's another example of like something in fiction that was very, very well animated to look a certain way. There are some people who swear by the last unicorn. So that's the first thing I thought of when you were talking about Spirit. Anyways. Yes, thank you, Dragon Tamer. Here's a shovel, keep digging. Now that I've added myself in Celeste.
Talking about it.
Now that I've added myself in Celeste, maybe we should stop.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't have much more to teach, so we could probably stop our our thing here. It's probably late for you, isn't it? It's like 10, 11 o'clock.
It's 10. It's 10.
Oh my gosh. What time do you go to bed?
3 a.m.
3. Yeah, me too. So I won't keep you any later. This was fun. I'm looking forward to next week when I get to be assaulted by French. And everybody will laugh at me, including your French viewers. Be like, haha, look at this Canadian. He can't even say
Maître.
Maître. Maître. I'm gonna record that for you so you could use that as
Yeah, please.
Oh my god. I laughed too hard I started coughing. Anyways. That's that. Now,
Thank you.
I don't know if you have any preference, but I'm gonna try and find somebody to raid. Are you gonna still going, or are you ending your stream?
I'm probably gonna end actually.
Yeah,
Tired.
I figured as much. Let's see. Is there anybody? Do we want to do a double raid on somebody, or?
I got some French person. Oh shit! I got a French person I wanna read, so you can do when you want.
Okay, yeah, it might not be beneficial if I raid a French person.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's we'll end our chat here. This was really fun. I'm glad that I was able to help, and I am very looking forward to next Saturday when I learn French.
It's gonna be
boy.
fun.
What was that? Sorry.
It's gonna be fun.
You know what? You're probably gonna make it fun because you're probably a good French teacher, where I've had some not good ones in the past. So I'm excited. I'm excited to learn.
Actually, next week is gonna be a problem. I have my donathon. Well, we can just do it meanwhile during the donathon.
Oh, right. No, wait. No, next week we can't because we have that collab we're gonna do during your donathon. So okay, not next week, but the one after.
Yeah.
There we go. So yeah, so anybody, by the way, for my viewers, if you don't know, Celeste is doing a donathon. And you can go over to her channel I always spell your name wrong. I can't spell your name right because I'm stupid. Is it TENSHINO?
TNSHINO, yeah.
And is Celeste at the front or is it at the back?
It depends.
On Twitch, which one is it?
On Twitch is Tenshino Celeste.
Okay, because I had it backwards. I think I spelled your name right. Yes, okay, got it. So guys, go check Celeste out. We'll be doing a collab of a game. I don't want to say what game it is because one, I forget the name, and two, it'll be a surprise. During that, it'll probably be around the same time unless we change it. I don't know. Just pay attention to Celeste stuff. I'm not good at this stuff. I'm not good at a lot of things. French, scheduling. What else am I bad at today? What else can I out myself for? But anyways, this was really fun. I can't wait till next week to play a game with you, and then the week after that to get assaulted and taught that I should never ever do French ever because I'm bad. But you know what? I am still gonna have fun with it. So I'm gonna pop off. The chat here. Celeste, thanks a lot for coming here with me, and you're the best. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I'll fight them. I'll do it.
Thank you.
All right. I'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And there she goes. All right, so guys, we are gonna raid. Let's see who's on. You know who I haven't raided a long time? I haven't raided Cake in a while. Maybe we should raid Cake. Oh, I don't want to. Cake doesn't really need my raid, but I love her, so she's doing Minecraft. Do you guys want to raid Cake? Let's do it. All right. So here's my raid message. If you're subbed, if you're not subbed, here's the other raid message. Guys, you can find my socials here. Join my Discord server here. Find my TikTok here. And oh, that's not how you spell Discord, Zero. And I upload my VODs to YouTube afterwards. So, guys, let's do it just one more time. There's raid message. There's raid 2. We're gonna raid Cake. So, guys, have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you at 9 p.m. tonight for some Monster Hunter. Don't tell her I'm coming. I swear to God. But you guys have a wonderful day. Take care, comb your hair, and a rush, use a brush. I hope you all learned something today. And I hope that it is going to be a fun day. So, I will see you guys later. I'm going to do this raid now. Bye-bye.